Names are not just words. They carry memory, they carry struggle, and they carry language. And when we are talking about a state which was born because of the linguistic reorganization back in 1956, it is looking and seeking to reclaim the name rooted in their mother language. From Kerala to Keralam. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh and today we are going to talk about this change of name for a state. How it is done. Is there any constitutional provision for the same? What is constitution's stance on it? Is it rigid or is it flexible? And what are the implications of it? So let us begin with understanding that what exactly is the Union Cabinet approving when we are talking about Kerala's renaming. So what we see in front of us as of now, that Union Cabinet has gone ahead and approved the decision to rename the state. Now when we are looking at this renaming of the state factor, we have to understand that this resolution has come from Kerala Assembly and it is a unanimous resolution. But another important thing that you should know here, that this is not something that has cropped up this very year. This is something that has been in pipeline for last 3 years, because the first resolution for the renaming was brought in 2023. But there were some technical issues with that, and that is why it was revised and re-adopted in June 2024, because there were certain technical clarifications required. Now once this unanimous resolution came forward, we have to understand that it also has a very important political angle involved with it. That is that it is coming just before assembly elections. So it also shows an angle of political salience. But yes, we cannot take away from the fact that the name Keralam is something that is rooted in the language, in the history and the culture of this region. And this initiative was brought by the Chief Minister of Kerala, that is Pinarayi Vijayan. Now when we look at the demand, as of now, they want to rename the state. That has been approved. The proposal has been approved. But now they want to rename the state in the first schedule of the constitution, and they want all languages which are present in 8th schedule to be altered accordingly. Other than that, they also want to align English name with Malayalam usage, because whenever we are using the English name Kerala, they want to make sure that whenever English usage is also coming, we are using the Malayalam name, that is Keralam. Now this is what is on table as of now, but we need to understand that what is the process that runs behind it. But before we move to that, let us understand that why specifically the word Keralam, the name Keralam is being demanded. So yes, it has a linguistic basis, because if you are looking at the Malayalam name, that is Keralam, the state is referred to as Keralam in Malayalam. Furthermore, if you are looking at historical basis, we clearly get to see that if you are talking about 1956 and the linguistic reorganization of states, that was done on the basis of language, linguistic reorganization. So if it was done on the basis of language, then the names of states should also come from there itself. Furthermore, in the historical context itself, if we are looking at the name Keralam, that has been used in Malayalam not just recently, but during the independence movement as well. So we have the linguistic basis, we have the historical context, but as of now, they are looking that we lack the constitutional identity. We are not identified as Keralam in Schedule 1 of Constitution. We are not identified in the languages mentioned in the 8th schedule like that. And then, as I mentioned, there is a political electoral context present as well. Now when we have understood why it is being demanded, let us straight up move to understand that what are the provisions which allow the change of name of a state. We straight up have to land at Article 3, because that is where the provision is present. When we are looking at Article 3 of our constitution, it gives power to the parliament that they can make new states, they can change areas and boundaries of the states, and also change the name of any state. So clearly renaming of Kerala is coming through this particular provision that the Parliament has the power to do so. But once the change has been made, there is another article that we need to take in consideration, that is Article 4, which talks about consequential amendments. So if any modification is happening in first schedule because of Article 3, that means Parliament is altering anything related to name of state which is present in first schedule, then such a law will not be considered as a constitutional amendment. That means this is not to be regarded as a constitutional amendment under Article 368, and that is why it will not require any special majority. It will be done only by simple majority. And once that is done, it will inconsequentially lead to the changes which are to be made in first schedule, that is list of state and territories. So Kerala will be replaced as Keralam, and there will be a uniform translation across 22 recognized languages in the 8th schedule as well. So this is the constitutional provision, but when we are looking at the step-by-step procedure, the first step is state resolution, where Kerala Assembly passes the resolution for the renaming, which has not been done only once but twice, but the first resolution had technical issues. Then it goes for presidential recommendation. The bill can be introduced in Parliament only with President's recommendation, otherwise it cannot be introduced. Now once the bill is introduced in Parliament, then that bill is sent to state legislature also for reference. Something important here is the fact that state's opinion is sorted, but at the same time that is not binding on the Parliament. So state has a platform to say if they want to something, opinionate, but at the same time it is not binding. That also shows you that how constitution and the procedure establish federal supremacy. State wants and center approves. And after that, once the opinion has been sorted, there is simple majority voting which is done on the bill. No special majority required, no state ratification required. And based on that, there is amendment to the first schedule, where the name is officially replaced. And then President assent is present, where the bill becomes a law and it is effective from a notified given date. Now, when we have understood the procedure, it is also important because we have mentioned Article 368 here. Let us understand that how is this different, and we also have to remember, because when we are talking about Kerala's renaming, we are saying that it does not need to be a constitutional amendment. But when Odisha was renamed as Odisha back in 2011, it was a constitutional amendment. Why? So, in this context, first we have to understand, when we are talking about renaming, as per Article 3, it is an ordinary legislation, it is a normal bill, it only needs simple majority. But Article 368, anything coming through that is constitutional amendment, and it has special majority required in multiple scenarios. Furthermore, state ratification not required in Article 3 context, it is required in federal matters when we are looking at Article 368. One example is present here for Article 3, renaming of Kerala. Article 368, GST amendment. Another example I am saying, Odisha renaming, which happened back in 2011. Now, what is the difference between both of the renaming? The problem here in 2011 renaming was that we needed constitutional amendment because the language name was also changing from Oriya to Odia. What is the main problem here? If you remember Article 3, it did not talk about languages. It talked about name of the states, boundaries, areas of the state. So, the alteration for Kerala is only limited and it falls squarely within Article 3. That is why the procedure is simple. But when we are looking at Odisha, the case was totally different. However, since independence, we have seen multiple renaming, be it Uttaranchal being named as Uttarakhand, be it Madras being renamed as Tamil Nadu, be it Mysore being renamed as Karnataka, and a few more. Can you tell me in the comment section the years in which this particular renaming took place? Now, on this note, we will be moving towards Now on this note that we have a fair clarity of all the dimension and how this process is present in front of us, I'll be leaving you here with the prelims practice question. You can put down your answers in the comment section. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.